Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banamsari Jamuna Tira Banamsari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Visupad Paramahamsa Pri Vrajgacha Stotra Satya Sri Srimad His Divine Grace. Hello boy, Charan Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skandi Viti Founder Acharyas Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Dani Tagore Premanande. All glories to be assembled devotees, all glories to be assembled devotees, all glories to be assembled devotees, all glories to see Guru and to see Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Taksuran Meritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Sya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanditam Sya Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakan Sanagaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyaiva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayasha Badrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktira Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Idam Bhagavata Nama
Puranam Brahma Samhitam
Puranam Brahma Samhitam
Uttama Shloka Charitam
Uttama Shloke Charitam
Chakara Bhagavan Rishi
Chakara Bhagavan Rishi
Nishreyasaya Lokasya
Shreyasaya Lokasya
Dhanyam Swasyayanam Mahat.
Dhanyam Sasayanam Mahan.
The Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya,
Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda,
Prabhu Nityananda
Sri Advaita Gadadhara,
Sri Advaita Gadadhar
Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Sarabhyaya Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
Mukam karoti vasalam pangum langayate girim. Yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our morning Bhagavatam class. Continuing first canto, chapter 9, entitled The Passing Away of Bhishmadev. And today, let's see here. Text 25. Yes. Sutta Uvacha.
Sutta Uvacha.
Yudhistiras.
Yudhishtiras.
Tad.
Tat.
Akarnya.
Akarnya.
Shayanam.
Shayanam.
Shara.
Shara.
Panjare.
Panjare.
Aprishtad.
Aprishtad.
Vividhan.
Vividhan.
Dharman.
Dharman.
Rishinam.
Rishinam.
Chanusrinvatam.
Chanushrinavatam.
Sutta Uvacha.
Sutta Uvacha.
Yudhisthirastad Akarnya.
Yudhishthirastad Akarnya.
Shayanam Sharapanjare.
Shayanam Sharapanjare.
Aprishtad Vividhan Dharman.
Aprishtad Vividhan Dharman.
Rishinam Chanusrinvatam.
Rishinam Chanushrinavatam.
Sutta Uvacha.
Sutta Uvacha.
Yudhisthirastadakarnya.
Yudhishthirastad Akarnya.
Shayanam Sharapanjare.
Shayanam Sharapanjare.
Aprishtad Vividhan Dharvatam.
Rishinam Chanush
Tadakarnya
युधिष्ठिरस्तदाकर्ण्य
Shayanam Sharapanjare
शयनं शरपञ्जरे
Aprichat Vividhan Dharman
अपृच्छाद्विविधान् धर्मान्
Rishinam Chanusrinvatam
ऋषीणां चानुष्णवताम् सूत उवाच
Sutta
सुत उवाच
Uvacha
युधिष्ठिरस्तदाकर्ण्य
Yudhishthirastadakarnya
शयनं शरपञ्जरे
Sharapanjare
अपृच्छद्विविधान् धर्मान् चानुष्णवताम्
Rishinam Chanusrinvatam
सुत उवाच
Sutta Uvacha
युधिष्ठिरस्तदाकर्ण्य
Yudhishthirastadakarnya
शयनं शरपञ्जरे
Shayanam
पञ्जरे
Panjare
अपृच्छद्विविधान् धर्मान्
Aprichat Vividhan Dharman
ऋषीणां चानुष्णवताम्
Rishinam Chanusrinvatam. You want to try? You can try?
No.
No? Okay. Need one more day of practice. Sutta Uvacha.
उवाच
Sri Sutta Goswami said,
श्रीसुत गोस्वामी said
Yudhishthiraha,
युधिष्ठिरः
King Yudhishthira,
King Yudhishthira
Tat,
tat
that,
that
Akarnya,
आकर्ण्य
hearing,
hearing
Shayanam,
शयनं
lying down,
lying down
Sharapanjare,
शरपञ्जरे
on the bed of arrows,
on the bed of arrows
Aprichat,
अपृच्छत्
asked,
asked
Vividham,
विविधान्
multifarious,
multifarious
Dharman,
धर्मान्
duties,
duties
Rishinam,
ऋषीणाम्
of the rishis,
of the rishis
cha,
च
and
and
Anusrinvatam,
अनुष्ठानं
hearing after.
hearing after
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
Sutta Goswami said, Maharaj Yudhishthira, after hearing Bhishma Dev speak in that appealing tone, asked him in the presence of all the great rishis about the essential principles of various religious duties. Kindly repeat after me. Sutta Goswami said,
Sutta Goswami said,
Maharaj Yudhishthira,
Maharaj Yudhishthira,
after hearing Bhishma Dev speak
after hearing Bhishma Dev speak
in that appealing tone,
in that appealing tone,
asked him
asked him
in the presence
in the presence
of all the great rishis
of all the great rishis
about the essential principles
about the essential principles
of various religious duties.
of various religious duties.
Report. Bhishma Dev, speaking in that appealing tone, convinced Maharaj Yudhishthira that he was very soon away. And Maharaj Yudhishthira was inspired by Lord of the principles of religion. Lord Sri Krishna inspired Maharaj Yudhishthira to ask Bhishma Dev in the presence of many great sages, indicating thereby that the Lord devotee like Bhishma Dev, although apparently living as a worldly man, is far superior to many great sages, even Vyasadeva. Another point is that Bhishma Dev at that time was not only lying on a deathbed of arrows because of that state. one should not have asked him any question at that time. But Lord Sri Krishna wanted to prove pure devotee or his pure devotees are always sound in body and mind by dint of spiritual enlightenment. And thus, in any circumstances, a devotee of the Lord is in perfect order to speak of the right way of life. Yudhishthira also preferred to solve his problematic questions by asking Bhishmadeva rather than ask anyone else present there who was seemingly more learned than Bhishmadeva. This is all due to the arrangement of the great wheel carrier, Lord Sri Krishna, who establishes the glories of his devotee. The Father likes to see the Son become more famous than himself. The Lord declares very emphatically that worship of his devotee is more valuable than worship of the Lord himself. Translation again, Sutta Goswami said, Maharaj Yudhishthira, after hearing Bhishmadev speak in that appealing tone, asked him in the presence of all the great rishis about the essential principles of various religious duties. So this is setting the scene for a grandfather Bhishmadev to speak on various subject matters quite as well, because the subject matter of dharma is very involved, is very deep subject matter. Even the subject matter of governance, which is, we could say, the special area of grandfather Bhishmadev. He was being a Kshatriya and living for so many years, over 400 years, from what we have heard. He had a lot of experience, isn't it? Anyone who lives, the longer one lives, the longer one has different types of experiences. One's knowledge and one's realizations become more deep, more mature, isn't it? Yeah. That's why one of the practices, one of the recommended practices in the Vedic culture in the context of training and education for leaders, this is nicely explained in the Kautilya Arthashastra, is that a young princess, someone who is being trained to become like a king in the future, a young princess should associate with elders in the society, especially those who have been playing some specific role, maybe in the government, because a prince needs to be exposed, needs to learn the intricacies of the whole science of leadership, and in this way there will be an exchange, which is not an ordinary person. He's very exalted individual. Mm, and here Prabhupada explains how, although so many great rishis were present, Vyasadeva was there, Narada Muni was there, but they were not the ones chosen to, although they were also qualified, but it was Krishna's arrangement that he, that Yudhishthira Maharaj specifically hear from grandfather Bhishma Dev for, of course, because as we mentioned, Bhishma Dev, having lived for such a long time, uh, had many things to share, and especially because um, Krishna's, mm, whenever Krishna does something, generally it's for many purposes, isn't it? So one of the purposes was, as nicely explained by Srila Prabhupada in the purport, was to actually glorify grandfather Bhishma Dev, to show, to indicate, to establish, to demonstrate how um, the Lord's pure devotees, mm, because their consciousness is so elevated, their consciousness is so clear, even under very difficult and challenging circumstances, which was the obvious case here for Bhishma Dev, lying on his bed of arrows. He was able to, um, at great length and in great details, speak on the subject matter of what are the different duties and responsibilities for uh, people in society. And that whole presentation, which actually we need, uh, or somebody needs, maybe it's already, actually it is. There's a book that I believe was brought out by one of our Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, some of you may have read. The I forget the exact title, but the various important instructions given by grandfather Bhishma Dev uh, to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Just like we read in the previous chapter, the teachings of Queen Kunti. So the teachings of Queen Kunti is like part of the Bhagavatam, but that part of the Bhagavatam has been taken out, and there's a book called Prayers of Queen Kunti, isn't it? Uh, so in the same way, like just like Bhagavad Gita is part of the Mahabharata, but it's so important, it's taken out of the Mahabharata and it's in the book form. I mean, teaching in itself. So like this, and especially in terms of what grandfather Bhishma Dev uh, will be teaching to uh, Yudhishthir Maharaj. So, um, yes. So it means that even very exalted and advanced personalities like Yudhishthira Maharaj, uh, similar situation arose also when Narada Muni happens to be visiting the residence of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Uh, mm, Yudhishthira Maharaj, of course, as we know, is um, Grihastha, and this is something, of course, very important. Grihasthas, uh, it is one of there are 5 activities actually that are recommended. That's in the Bhagavatam, mentioned by Narada Muni. 5 activities that on a daily basis Grihasthas should be doing in order to uh, maintain a high level of consciousness. So the first one actually is to worship every day the Lord. Actually, everyone should do that, but especially those who are grihasthas, because in grihastha ashram there's so many different preoccupations and distractions, isn't it? So Prabhupada specifically explained how grihasthas should have like deities in their home so that they can focus, they can be more focused on serving the Lord, worshiping the Lord. So that is the first of 5 activities. Another one is to actually uh, prepare food stuff. Actually, the other 4 are connected with food, which is interesting. Um, offering food to the Lord, isn't it? One of the important activities for householders. Then offering food to ordinary living entities, animals and like that. And then offering food to saintly persons, inviting saintly persons. So that's why um, when Narada Muni visited Yudhishthira Maharaj in his palace, he was very pleased and and requested him to speak on the subject again on the subject matter of dharma. We see this especially in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Householders, when Lord Chaitanya was in Jagannath Puri, it is nicely described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that there was not a day when Lord Chaitanya was not invited to some specific householder's home for prasadam, isn't it? Yeah. This is also reminding us of Prabhupada. He would actually recall as a young boy, his father, Gaur Mohan De, inviting every day. Every day he would have sadhus. He would invite them for prasadam and he would hear some katha, some Krishna katha from them. So the whole idea actually is to hear, isn't it? To deepen our understanding of subject matters, and there are so many in relation to dharma. So that is, and the 5th one, what householders should be doing, also connected with prasadam, that householders, and that also is applicable for everyone, should only take Krishna prasadam. Yeah. Uh, and this, of course, may sometimes be a challenge for those who are traveling, which is the case probably for most householders. They have to go different places. So like this, our Shastra, especially our main Shastras, Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, are filled with instructions that can help us in our daily practices, in our daily activities. And the last point that Prabhupada makes at the end of the purport is that Krishna is he's so affectionate actually to his devotees that he, as Prabhupada reminds us, Krishna is more happy to see his devotees being taking care of being served than he is himself. So in other words, we cannot claim to be Krishna's devotee unless we also are attentive to what is dear to Krishna as well. In other words, we should be serving the Lord, but simultaneously we should be conscious of also serving the Lord's devotees, or caring for the Lord's devotees, or for that matter, that's why brahmanas are especially important in society, because they are directly representing Krishna. They are actually, that is their primary uh, activity, is to um, help others understand about the Lord. So therefore, brahmanas are meant to 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 teach uh, the science of Krishna consciousness. What are the three? What is it? Mandatory activities for those who are Dvija, not only brahmanas. There are three mandatory activities every day that brahmanas should be doing. That is there, which is part of the first, what is it? The first of three activities is to actually worship. Personally worship. Actually, even before that, the one which is foremost is that brahmanas, and for that matter, kshatriyas and the vaishyas as well, those who are classified as twice born, they should be studying Shastra. Every day they should be hearing and studying Shastra. I was mentioning how this is explained in the Kautilya Artha Shastra also, that 3 times a day, Kshatriyas will touch base with Shastra, either read directly or hear from Shastra, worshipping, and then giving in charity. Giving in charity means, because when Vedic culture is in place, brahmanas are given, isn't it? We read they're given cows. Cows are donated to brahmanas. Land is donated to brahmanas. Different things are donated to brahmanas. And brahmanas, by nature, they're quite satisfied with the minimum. So if they have more than the minimum, they'll give away, isn't it, in charity. Uh, so studying, worshipping, and giving in charity are like the mandatory activities. Then there are 3 other activities which are not mandatory, but generally taken up and connected with learning is, of course, teaching. So Brahmana also should be engaged in teaching this knowledge from Shastra. Number 2, he should also be not only himself worshipping the deity, but teaching others how to worship the deities. That's also there. And he should be accepting. Should be accepting means he is allowed to accept charity, whereas he's the only one actually allowed to accept charity. Kshatriya may be teaching also, but he's not allowed to accept charity. Vaishya also. Vaishya is supposed to produce money. He's supposed to give in charity, right? Actual Vaishnava. So like this is very, um, very elaborately presented, um, and of course, the Bhagavatam is giving just a very summarized uh, presentation of the teachings of grandfather Bhishmadev. They're more elaborately presented actually in the what is it? Which parva? Anasusana. Anusasana. Anusasana. Huh? Instruction, yeah, correct. Yeah.
Discipline we can tell.
Hmm?
Discipline.
Discipline.
Anusashana.
You mean that's another meaning for
Yeah, terminology.
Anusasana?
The principles which we should maintain.
Yeah. Of course, discipline is one of the uh, fundamental qualities and principles which actually make up Vedic culture, um, and which is the beginning of brahmachari's training, isn't it? Discipline, uh, which we find in the form of discipline means actually tapasya. Tapasya. So we have, tapasya brahmacharyena samenacha damenacha. What is the tapasya for brahmachari? Controlling the mind and controlling. Okay, they've come. Controlling the mind and controlling the senses. Of course, discipline is for everyone, but that is the special, let's say, feature of early life, brahmacharya life, and therefore, those who don't receive brahmachari training, they are generally less disciplined, and therefore they are unable to deal properly with uh, the different complexities of life. You know? So discipline is very important. Well, okay. I thought of reading the next one, but the next one has a very long purport, so we'll keep it for tomorrow. So any thoughts on this or comments?
How to be determined like Bhishma Dev?
How to be determined like Bhishma Dev? Well, somehow the answer more active this morning. Sometimes it may be indicating that rain is soon to come.
Yeah, sometimes really
Yeah, right.
atmosphere just like
Right, yeah, it's kind of like changing quite rapidly. Let's see. So, one simple answer, of course, is that the more we take up nicely to the process as recommended in the Shastra, then it means that our consciousness will become purified. And the more our consciousness is purified, then the more we develop these natural qualities, one of them being, determined, uh, being very. So determination can only become manifest if one is very, what we call fixed up. Fixed up is connected with conviction, and this stage rather, is one of the levels that we need to attain, which is referred to as nistha, isn't it? So yeah, adao shraddha tato sadhu sangha bhadana kriya anartha nivriti nistha. Nistha also translated as steadiness. Steadiness, you know. We we learn to be very regulated in what we're doing. It's also connected with sadhana, isn't it? So one, unless one becomes very steady, very very strong in his practice of devotional service, then um, he will not be able to develop this quality of strong determination. Yeah. Um, all of these qualities actually, they naturally, automatically will become manifest. They cannot be imposed. Just like we can't legislate um, sentiment. You know, we can't legislate love. Okay, from today, everyone has to love. Love is something that is spontaneous, that is natural, and that evolves um, when we perform activities in a particular way. Isn't it? Small example: this body that we have, like nowadays, because of the social, um, we could say, breakdown that is there in society, with so many broken families, with so much of exposure to all kinds of bad activities. So we see very often young people, I mean, they're not even practically yet teenagers, but are taking to smoking and taking to drugs and taking to this and taking to that, which from just a bodily or biological point of view inhibits and affects their natural growth, isn't it? Um, Children who don't have their parents, both parents, will generally, or who don't have parents at all. You know, it's estimated. I was reading this some time back. It's estimated that over something like 50%, 50% of children born in America don't have a father. Of course, they have a father, otherwise they wouldn't be born. But they don't know who their father is, or the father was never there. It's what we call born out of wedlock, you know. And I don't know what the percentage of those who are anath, orphans.
Is it
But
something like those fathers got expert or like they are not able to give the proper identification? That's the only thing.
no. It's just that because in America people don't even bother getting married.
That's good. Kind of living relation and all
Yeah,
that.
correct. Yeah, because if you're legally married, it costs money to get a divorce. So why bother? Save money. Because unfortunately, as we know, in modern day society, divorce is a very big issue. Yeah, separation and divorce. So people just live together, you know, the common law, whatever.
There is also another method, IVF method.
Huh?
IVF method, in vitro fertilization, without getting
Yeah,
married.
yeah. Yes, that is also there.
I think that is also against the Shastra.
Practically everything nowadays is against Shastra.
Right, Guru.
Yeah, many things. Yes, definitely. Yes,
Because the child who is getting birth, that child is not able to identify who is the father, like who is the donator, right?
correct. Yes, yes.
Because
Well,
in the law it is mentioned nobody is going to disclose the name of that donator.
yeah. So the idea is that I was pointing, using this as an example to show that in a family situation, when the child doesn't have the presence of both parents, then emotionally, even biologically, he will not uh, grow as he should. He will not be. So therefore, we have so many. You know, it's a very serious problem in terms of psychology. We have so many emotionally disturbed people in society, in modern day society, not only in America, but America is one of those prominent places because of the presence of what we call, Varna Sankara is so prominent. Varna Sankara, which is the, the complete opposite of what Vedic culture is advocating, what Varnashrama culture is also advocating. In the Varnashrama culture, one has, you know, systems and ways that one follows. It's like there should be, for a family to actually be proper and for the members of the family to grow nicely and to develop and to become ideal and ultimately attain the perfection of life, there needs to be uh, not only a biological mother and father, but there needs to be uh, a father and mother who are qualified uh, spiritually as well, isn't it, to give proper guidance and support to the children, which is less and less the case in modern day society, and therefore there's so much of uh, disruption in the personal lives of individuals, and so that's why so many social problems are there in society. Yeah. So therefore, the need for understanding what are the basic, what is it, components, what are the basic aspects that are needed um, for a society to function properly. So you need to have, first and foremost, you need to have like qualified spiritual leaders. You need to have brahmanas who will have experience, have knowledge, and be able to give proper guidance in society, to society. Then you need to have qualified, actually, leaders, kshatriyas. So the whole Varnashrama culture, which is very much absent in modern day society. That was Srila Prabhupada's um, great hope and expectation um, in leaving India to systematically. It's in one of the there are 7 what is called purposes. Prabhupada formulated 7 purposes of ISKCON. So the first one is to actually systematically introduce and uh, teach the science of Krishna consciousness, isn't it? And otherwise, society is obviously not in a healthy condition, and therefore, um, so many uh, irregularities and problems um, are there in society, with the end result being that people are not able to uh, understand the value of this human form of life and end up um, on a much lower level of consciousness, which means end up in performing all kinds of sinful activities, which the end result is that people suffer more and more, and they prepare a next life of suffering as well. Yeah. So therefore, the need to systematically present and spread this knowledge, and one of the important ways that Prabhupada had spoken about was in terms of Varnashram college, and that's what we are endeavoring to. The whole Vedic. There's so much very very elaborate. It's like practically mind-boggling, as they say. So much of elaborate, detailed knowledge is there in our Shastra that unless we take the time to study and to extract, a little bit like the Goswamis of Vrindavan were specifically, we chant this prayer every morning. They were assigned by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go to Vrindavan and to extract, to deeply study so many different shastras and to establish the supremacy of the what we call the cult of bhakti, or the practice of bhakti, as being the most important activity. And at the same time, there's a particular way in which we can live our lives that will favor that practice of bhakti. Yeah. So Grandfather Bhishmadev especially will be elaborating and giving various important teachings to Yudhishthira Maharaj on various, so many different subject matters. Okay. Okay, already. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Sri Prabhupada ki, Gaura Premanand.